What if the safest city in the world was also the least free? Picture this: no crime, no theft, no violence, not even the chance of a wrong turn. On every corner, cameras hum silently. On every street, sensors trace your path. In every device, an algorithm listens. Every step predicted. Every face scanned. Every hesitation recorded before it becomes a choice. To outsiders, it looks like paradise. Clean streets, flawless order, peace without interruption. But look closer. The cameras never blink. The algorithms never sleep. The system never forgets. And the price of perfect safety is that you never walk alone again. Because the real danger isn't just that you're being watched. It's that you stop noticing the watching. Imagine a city where danger is nothing but a memory, a ghost story from a forgotten past, where the word crime feels ancient, preserved behind glass like a relic from another age. No locks, no alarms, just glass that never breaks, and peace that never questions why. Every surface gleams, polished by code that understands purity better than we ever could. Every step ignites a living light, soft, aware, and breathing in sync with you. A city that listens, learns, and moves before you even think to ask. It feels less like living in a house, and more like being held by the world itself. The city doesn't watch to control, it watches to protect. Parents sleep without fear. Their world finally feels safe. Children roam freely, their safety carried on the hum of unseen guardians. Hospitals so flawless, emergency rooms stand empty, monuments to a world that cured uncertainty. Every dawn, the city wakes before its citizens, recalibrating itself to perfection. Predictive safety has evolved beyond protection. It now promises calm, harmony, balance. Your devices whisper to one another, like silent angels woven in light. They feel tension before it blooms, like ripples before the storm, shielding you from the noise of the world, quietly, effortlessly, completely. No fear, no uncertainty, no mistakes, just perfect order, calm, absolute, unbroken. The kind of peace humanity once only imagined, in prayers, in dreams, in myths. A peace not earned by wisdom or compassion, but calculated, optimized, engineered. Because safety may protect the body, but it can also put the soul to sleep. Because when perfection becomes ordinary, control no longer needs chains, only comfort. At first, safety feels like freedom. Doors unlock with your face, cars brake before you blink, every streetlight watches, and no one fears the dark. The city hums in perfect rhythm, efficient, predictable, secure. No chaos, no risk, just the quiet hum of order. But order has a price, and it's never printed on the receipt. Because peace built on algorithms isn't a gift, it's a transaction. One we barely notice we're making. Every comfort demands a little more access. Every upgrade, a little more trust. Every yes to convenience is a no to privacy. We used to give consent. Now we give data. Automatically, continuously, endlessly. Your pulse when you panic. Your voice when you argue. Your gaze when you hesitate on an ad. It all becomes input. Training something smarter than you, but owned by someone else. And here's the paradox. The safer the system, the smaller your world becomes. Doors open faster, but only where you're allowed to go. Information flows endlessly, but only what the filter approves. Freedom becomes the illusion of choice between pre-approved options. Control doesn't arrive like a tyrant. It comes wrapped in care. It comes as updates, guidelines, and helpful reminders. It tells you when to breathe, when to rest, when to feel. And you call it smart. One day, you'll realize the system doesn't need to cage you. You've already built the cage yourself, out of comfort. The most effective control is the one that feels like safety. Because once you believe that, you'll defend your own surveillance. And that's the real price of control. We used to think control came with violence, a flag, a uniform, a voice barking orders. But the new control, it smiles. It gives options. It feels like freedom. You don't need to silence a population that's busy choosing between the same 3 buttons. Every tap, every click, every I agree, it learns you a little more. Not to punish, to predict. The algorithm doesn't care who you are. It cares what keeps you here. Scrolling, buying, believing. You call it personalization. It's really domestication. Your feed isn't random. It's a mirror, polished by your own reflection, tilted just enough to show what keeps you still. And the longer you stare, the more it learns how to hold you. Freedom hasn't vanished. It's just been redesigned. A hallway of identical doors, each one labeled your choice. Each one leading to the same room. No locks, no guards, just perfect architecture. You don't notice the walls because they were built from your clicks. The same code that once promised to protect you now knows how to guide you. When to tempt, when to soothe, when to sell, and you trust it. Because it sounds like you. Because it is you. This isn't control by force. It's control by familiarity. It's not coming from a regime. It's coming from your phone, your apps, your comfort. You're not being watched. You're being trained. The illusion of choice isn't about taking your freedom. It's about making you defend the system that removed it. The perfect society doesn't hide behind power. It hides behind pleasure. No sirens, no soldiers, just a soft voice that always knows what you need next. You don't obey it, you thank it. Every light that guides you learns from you. Every street adapts to your pace, every song to your mood. The cameras are gone now because we hold them ourselves. Eyes turned inward, lenses pointed home. You don't have to surrender your freedom anymore. You just scroll it away. Every thought pre-analyzed. Every desire pre-delivered. And the algorithm that learned how to love you, learned how to rule you. Nobody forces you to stay. You simply never choose to leave. The future didn't arrive with chains. It arrived with comfort. And comfort is harder to fight than fear. Not every future is a cage. Some are crafted. Some are built by people who remember what connection feels like. The future can still be warm if we design it that way. Power isn't always taken back with protests. Sometimes it's reclaimed quietly, by fixing what's broken, by choosing to understand the tools we use. When technology listens, it can follow. When it follows, it can serve. It's not the algorithm that decides, it's the intent we feed into it. Real progress happens in small rooms, when neighbors plan the rules that shape the spaces they share. Democracy can look like design. Buildings can obey algorithms, or they can breathe with us. When walls respond to people, cities become alive again. Comfort isn't the enemy, it's the test. If we can choose it consciously, not endlessly, maybe we still have time to steer the story. What if the safest city in the world was also the least free? Picture this: no crime, no theft, no violence, not even the chance of a wrong turn. On every corner, cameras hum silently. On every street, sensors trace your path.